In today's episode, we talk about the ways you can bring the magic home when you're away from the parks and counting down to your next Walt Disney World visit.
I only hope that we never lose sight of one thing, that it was all started by a mouse.
You are listening to the Main Street Magic Podcast with your hosts, Jeremy Stein and John Marone.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I'm your host, Jeremy Stein, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host, good friend, and Mickey waffle maker, John Marone.
Hello.
In today's episode, we talk about the ways you can bring the magic home when you're away from the parks and counting down to your Walt Disney World visit. Please check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at mainstmagic. So, John, this was a topic you brought up not too long ago because we actually did an episode on how we kind of kept the magic alive while we were at Disney as people that go quite often. And then we thought every time we leave Disney, we're always counting down the days to the next trip. What do you do at home to pass the time and kind of stay within that Disney mood and bring some of that Disney magic into your own house?
What don't I do?
Oh, this could be lengthy.
Yeah, so it's unique. So I'm just such a I just enjoy Disney.
Yeah.
And so anything I could find kind of helps pass the time. And I know my wife looks at me like I'm weird every now and then, but just going through it, there's an app out there called TuneIn Radio.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's radio stations from all over the world. It's a free app, no big deal. But I was on it one day, and you can go and search, and I typed in Disney music. And suddenly I found all kinds of stations that play music from the Disney parks.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I favorite for all those stations. So I play those, and some of them are neat. They play the rides.
Yeah.
Right? They play the music from the rides, including the talking and everything.
Yep.
They do the 8.5-minute monorail loop,
Mm-hmm.
which that's the one that usually when my wife hears that one being played is like, you're not on the monorail. Would you shut that thing off already?
But you feel like you're on the monorail.
But you feel,
and that's what matters.
And I could play it through the Alexa, right? Through the Amazon.
Yeah.
So that TuneIn is part of, can be linked up to it.
Yeah.
So you can just play it through the house with that, not just on your phone or on your computer. So I think one of the easiest things is just going and I go and do that. It's like, hey, let me find some music and I'll drive around. I tend not to. I listen to music.
Yeah.
When I'm in the mood, I listen to talk radio and podcast. I listen to that, and that's another thing. You and I do this podcast, so us preparing for it is another way to kind of help keep me in the mood.
Right.
I also listen to other Disney podcasts.
Yeah.
And there's a couple good ones out there. There's a couple good ones.
Yes. Yeah. I hope we fall into that
hopefully,
list.
Yeah. And if we don't now, hopefully we're getting better each
Right,
time that
right.
we will fall
We're
into
trying.
it. But there are some that, they're you and I will exchange them and say, hey, listen to this one. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that one's not bad. And then the next episode's worst and then worst. And it's like, you listen to that anymore? No, I stopped to.
Yeah.
It's
true. It's the whole reason we started this podcast. I mean, this is a hobby for us right now. It's something that we do because we enjoy Disney so much. And we found ourselves, John and I live, a stone's throw away from each other here. And so we hang out quite often. Our two families are together a lot. And we just found most of the time when we were hanging out, we were talking about our upcoming Disney trip or we were talking about the one we just went on. And that's what spawned this podcast. So I think talking about Disney is one of the ways we kind of bring that magic home. And often a couple times we've talked about that over your Sunday Mickey waffles, haven't we?
Yeah. So I have a Mickey waffle maker, a mini waffle maker. So make Mickey waffles, mini waffles. So we have those that kind of keeps it going. There are so many other things that you can get. I look at it and we get quarterly. I get the Disney Annual Pass magazine that shows up.
Is that the Mickey Monitor?
The Mickey Monitor. Mm-hmm. Believe monthly, and it won't be monthly. I think it might be 10 times a year, 8 times a year. I get a DVC magazine. Yeah. I have a lot of old Disney memorabilia. magazines and receipts and all kinds of stuff to park maps that are old and different guidebooks. So, being able to look at that. When you look at, we just finished with the holidays, so we took down the Christmas tree, of which, we do a special ornament every single year.
Yeah.
So, taking those out, and then when we put them away, seeing, well, this was 2009, this one was 2010. So, a lot there. So there's a lot that you can do while you're gone. With that, you look for, I'll go through DirecTV and look for any Disney specials that might be on. There were a lot of older episodes of Behind the Parks.
Yeah.
Where there was one for each park and the hotels.
Yeah, and on Netflix and some of those as well has some really good specials.
Samantha Brown, who used to do she used to do one where, if you can find the old episodes, she did almost a whole season of Disney hotels.
Oh, okay.
So it was a stay at the Grand Floridian.
Yeah.
And then the next time it was on, it was a stay at the Beach Club.
Yeah.
And, so there was a lot of neat stuff there that you can see and do. And then I'm one so my wife does not want to watch ride videos.
Right.
So part of it is if she's never done the ride or experienced before, she doesn't want it spoiled.
Yeah, and see, I'm on her side with that portion of something I haven't experienced.
Yeah, I don't care. I'll watch it.
Yeah.
And so there'll be times where I'll just flip over to YouTube, or you can search it on your TV through Apple TV or Roku or anything. Just go to YouTube and search Disney rides, or I'll search Disneyland rides, or Tokyo Disney rides, and just seeing all the difference there. So you can do that as well. So there's so much you can do to kind of keep it going while you're not there. Yeah,
and one of the things that Disney Parks has started doing a lot is streaming a lot of events. We watched, they streamed the New Year's Eve fireworks. I know. They streamed the Frozen and Elsa lighting the castle up for Christmas. They streamed Jingle Bell Jingle Bam one night, and I can use Apple TV. I can bring it up on my phone, cast it to the TV either through Apple or Chromecast or something, and it's like almost being at the park. And something that Disney stores are going to start doing, they started doing some in test markets and revamped their store. They're going to actually do live streams within the store of parades, of fireworks, depending on time and if they're open. And the cast members there, from what I've read, will give you little mats to sit on, and I think they might even give you some popcorn or something so you can sit and watch it within a Disney store if you're not at the parks. For us, YouTube, I watch a lot of YouTube on Disney. Some of it I do for an educational point for this podcast to, just try and increase my knowledge of all things Disney. And other things are just straight up entertainment. And then I do the Disney Channel on Pandora a lot, especially leading up to a trip. And what I find funny about that is I will say, Alexa, play Disney on Pandora, and she responds and says, now playing Disney children's music on Pandora. I'm like, well, wait a second. Why does this have to be children's music? I want to listen to it. And that's often just me by myself getting ready in the morning. And then, one of the other things that we did at home is we're very slowly converting our kids' playroom into Disney themed. So we've started decorating on shelves, souvenirs and stuff that we collect from the parks. We've started looking at collecting the popcorn buckets and putting those in the room. And I built a shadow box case with lots of little things that we've collected, that maybe we haven't bought, but we've just gotten access to while being at Disney. And then the final thing that we do that lines up a little bit with your waffles is we'll make some Disney food. I have a good friend, Christina from New York, who started a website called Disney Delicious, where she does copycat recipes of certain Disney food that she's had when she comes to visit every year. I know that she's got Tonga toast recipe on there. We recently did the gray stuff that we put on cupcakes from Be Our Guest, and it was amazing. So again, just something to kind of bring that magic home and get a little bit of Disney when you're away from the parks.
Yeah, Disney has plenty of cookbooks. Mm-hmm. Also, I have a bunch. Disney used to have a monthly magazine. They did away with it. Now they only have, I guess, the parents' magazine, if they still have it. But the old Disney magazine used to have recipes in it every single month.
Yeah.
Which were interesting. You could try those. The other thing that I'll do with the kids is take the My Disney Experience app, open it up, and I'll, whatever day it is, whatever time it is, we'll pick a park, and I'll say Peter Pan, and they'll have to guess the wait time.
Oh, I like that.
And see who's closest to
Yeah.
it.
Do they usually just say too long?
Yeah. No, it'll be interesting. So, one will say 55, and the other one will be like,
That's awesome.
65, and it'll be like 80. So neither of you want. The only way you score points is if you get it exact.
Oh, it's not like The Price is Right.
No,
Can you say like 1 minute,
can't
Bob?
Be closer.
Oh,
nope,
man.
Nope, can't be closer.
All right.
So you got to be exact.
I like that. I'm going to try that.
So just do it with all the different parks. So it's it's interesting because they got to pay attention to the day, the time of the day.
Yeah.
In that to be able to do that. And that's fun and different.
Yeah. Well, maybe one day they can get a job at touring plans.
Be good.
Depends how good they are. They got to get those up. Well. Speaking of that, I go on touring plans a lot. And since we usually are going once a month, we're usually in about a 2 week to 3 week planning period. We usually get home from a trip, and then a week later you're like, all right, let's kind of get ready for the next one. So I'll go in. I might be booking fast passes for our next trip 60 days out. And then usually 2 to 3 weeks out, I go ahead and go into touring plans and start entering all of my information. So but I'll do the same thing. I usually open up Animal Kingdom right now on My Disney Experience, and it'll just be like, yeah, Rhonda, guess how long Flight of Passage is right now? And we just look, and we're kind of like, oh man, that's crazy. Would you do it? Nah, I don't think I would. I would wait this long. But one thing I did put out, I put the question out on Twitter and Facebook, so I did want to share a few of our listeners' responses on the things that they do. So over on Facebook, we had Jenny Wellman, who said that she starts planning the next trip, which is a great way to bring the magic home and get ready. And that probably includes all the things like looking at touring plans, talking about where you're going to eat, what rides you're going to ride. And then Melissa, who was with Ears of Experience, who I've spoken about before, and I've started doing a lot of my booking of hotel rooms through. She said she drinks her coffee daily in her refillable resort mug. Great way to bring home the magic. And then both Melissa and Jenny said they watch YouTube videos and they randomly check wait times on the app. So maybe now they can play your little game. I'm definitely going to. I like that. And then over at Twitter, we had Morgan, who is at Morg Does Disney. She says, movies, clothes, new decorations. Every other month or so, I buy something new on the Parks app. Getting that Disney package in the mail is pretty magical. And listen to music, of course. Had Beth, who is at Beth C. Quick, said, updating my at Touring Plans app and watching wait times. Yep, sad but true. I think we just proved it is neither. It's not sad.
No,
it is true. We all do it.
Yeah.
And then Jeremy, which is not to be confused with me, who is at JPCCAB, says he watches vlogs, listens to podcasts, so hopefully ours, and reads news articles on Disney. And the news article one is pretty good because, ever since D23, there still continues to be something new, I think, to talk about every single week. And if you go out on Facebook and we'll gladly share and recommend some on our page. There's a lot of amazing Disney Facebook groups, of very, very, knowledgeable Disney people that are sharing stuff and answering questions and just posting pictures from what they're doing at a park at that moment. So I think it's another great way to kind of bring the magic home.
Yeah, I follow plenty on Facebook, plenty on Twitter about Disney, but also when you look at what comes from Disney, they have the Disney Parks blog, which is also a website.
Great content.
You mentioned D23. D23 is a great site.
Yeah. And
even if you're not a member, you can become a member for free with a lot of great content.
Yeah.
Even if you don't want to spend the $79 or $99 a year on it. And then if you're a DVC member, their website's really good, and it gives you a lot of different articles, and it keeps you up to date with what might be coming up or what benefits you receive for having DVC. So there's a lot of different sites that you can go to. The Disney Cruise Line one isn't bad. I like going and seeing how much a Mediterranean 11-night cruise is, just to go do that.
be
So, and there's There's a Disney Cruise website that's not affiliated with Disney, but it also shows where each boat is every day.
Oh, cool.
And then they post, people send into them, and they'll post the Mickey Navigator that you get on the ship, which shows the activities each day, the drink of the day, what the restaurant rotations are. So that's a neat place to go to as well. So just different fun stuff. You type in Disney, you're going to find something.
Yeah, and as you mentioned that app, I want to bring up one real quick before we go here. Go to iTunes, I know for at least, and look up WDW Today, and you can actually broadcast on your phone the exact in-room display that they have on the TV on that initial channel at the Disney resorts, which runs through the park hours for each one. It shows you the events, the parade times, something else just to kind of bring that magic home. So you know what I'm going to say? Go out on Facebook, go out on Twitter, at MainSTMagic. Share what you do, to bring the Disney magic home. And we'd love to hear, what type of things you do as you count down those days. That's all I got. We'll see you real soon.